Welcome once again. Oh my gosh, you're back with us, guys. You're back with us. I don't know. Are you? What are we doing here? It's the Shlicketty Dukecast. Look at that. Look at that. You sons of bitches. Ah, you kooky, crazy kids. My name's Aaron Forsyth. I'm the host of the Shlicketty Dukecast. Oh my God. Look at this. Look, we're right in front of the big city. And speaking of big city, we got Big City Mike Anderson right here.
In the box, there I am, coming up at you live. Bang.
Oh, there he is, Big City. Wouldn't that be a fun nickname, Big City? I wish somebody would call me Big City. Hey, Big City.
I used to call myself World Famous Mike
That's pretty good.
when I was working jobs like on the phone and shit.
Yeah.
There's a lot of mics.
I mean, we used to tease each other as kids, but we never had a nickname. I always wish I had a nickname.
I've never had a nickname, ever.
No, not one that stuck. Not that was cool, like Max
Definitely.
Power or Spike or, you know, Butch
Those are
or...
dog names.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Butch was my dad's nickname.
I know. I would like to have a cool... Oh, man, a nickname would be awesome. I know. Everyone's probably typing in right now. Parrot beak face, no shin guy, dork, douche. Yeah, no. Stop. But so one of these days, if I ever get an applicable name, it'd be cool. It'd be cool. I would have branded it. You got to brand your names. I mean,
Like trademark and copyright.
right. Yeah, like if your name was, I don't know,
Kleenex.
yeah, like Shaq.
My name's Xerox Kleenex.
Yeah, how about Shaq? He's got because his name's Shaquille, he's got Shaq. How cool is that?
Imagine if you change your name to Xerox Kleenex. You got 3 X's in your name.
Ooh, Xerox Kleenex. That sounds like a new Elon Musk child.
Right?
Xerox Kleenex, time for your dinner.
Xerox Kleenex must.
And yet, heaven forbid they get a cold.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Sister. Yeah. Call our sister in here. She'll wrap her face around your face. So, all right, Xerox Kleenex. What do we got here? I don't even know what episode we're at. What was that? Who got me the typhoids? Got the Starbucks typhoids. Okay, so I was about to ask you, you're clinking and dinking over there, and then I was like, save it for the pod. Let me ask you that. What do you got new there? Well, show me show and tell. What do you got?
So I got, everything's black. I got a new thermos bottle. It's 32 ounces.
32, good amount,
Right.
good amount.
But it's got a nice little spout guy that I kind of dig in that he's got a little spout that you drink out of, but it's got a little screw top lid.
Okay.
Keep it clean. Keep
Is
it
it
tight.
okay? Well, the cleaning factor, because I've ran the gamut of all the. Tina is one of those. We've got 500 fucking of those canisters and things with screw tops.
Oh, the water balls. Yeah.
We've
My
got a
girlfriend had a
million.
shit ton too. She had like 20.
Yeah, and to the fact that I could probably get rid of 10 and she wouldn't even notice.
Yeah.
So, but here's where I have one I use every day, and my everyday one is the old school Yeti. And why I like the old school Yeti, not only will it keep my coffee hot and my shit cold all day, the cleaning factor. This is why I was going to ask you about the cleaning factor of that, because the Yeti is a magnet. The slider top is a magnet. Did you know that? You ever have a Yeti?
No.
Oh, that's what makes it superior. They got the lid. Now imagine.
Oh, is it superior? Is it?
Well, imagine the lid, and then your slider that goes up and down. I could just take it and go, pull it off, and then you can clean all that area.
Seem very secure.
It is. It's a magnet. That's the beauty of it. It is secure.
Magnets are pretty cool.
It is. I think it's the most superior drink out there. Now that being said, she just got.
But they're super expensive.
They are. I'm on my second.
Like, you know how
one.
much this was? This was like $17.
Yeah, I know. I think I got mine she got it for me for. It was my second black one from Yeti. I think they're like $39. Yeah, they are expensive.
Actually, $39 is not bad.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
But I use it every day with my coffee, and it travels with me. It's good. It's black. It looks cool. I like the slide. Like I said, so I swear by the Yeti. But she's got an iron flask, the company Iron Flask. You ever hear of them? Yeah, they've got a good mechanism, cleaning thing. I just find it's a little hard to screw on and off. Maybe it's a little too tight of a vacuum
That is
seal.
annoying. I think my mug, because I got into these like several years ago when I was out in Arizona, just for keeping shit cold because when it's like 119,
You need it, yeah. You
your
need a
beer's
water
not-
bottle out
not
there.
lasting long. Like in Brazil, when you get a beer, it's like a 40 ouncer, right? But it's like a liter or something like that. I don't know, metric. But it's like the size of a 40 ouncer, and they give it to you. They have a big koozie for it, and even like a little cap koozie.
Is it now? Oh, is it like one of those like scuba shirt zip up Scoobies, or is
No.
it more like a fat foam, or
fat foam.
like a fat foam,
Yeah,
like a 1980s koozie you
Yeah.
get from a radio
Yeah,
station?
and they give you that, and then they give you like 4 little glasses like this big. And so
Okay.
you pour out a little bit of beer and you fucking drink that.
Ooh, little like Dixie cups, like little Dixie serving sizes.
Yeah, like juice glasses. You know what I mean? And so that's what you drink the beer out of, so it stays colder in the big bottle.
I like that idea. More
So-
festivals should take.
Pour some out, do a round, do another round.
They should do that around here. I mean, I see, like, the Bud Light people are good. They got the 60-ounce aluminums with the screw tops, and those work pretty good. Those are good for festivals.
I've gotten those at like outdoor festivals.
they're
and
great.
Stuff.
Because you can, like I said, they're easy. They slide in your pocket pretty good. They're 16 ounces. You don't feel like you're... Because Eddie, you ever go to a festival and you wait in line, sweating it out, and then you get the 12-ouncer, and then you're like, I might as well just go to the back of the line and start this whole fucking thing over.
Yeah, I get 2 if I can.
Yeah, you got to double fist. But sometimes they won't let you triple fist out of there. You can only double fist.
Yeah, like sometimes like at the Renaissance Festival, I'll have Laurel Ann stand with me, and to get 2 beers.
Yeah.
And then they're both mine, and I can be like, good, now I'm not thirsty anymore, and then the other one I can sip and walk around.
What's the brand name on that one? You said what, for $17?
This? I don't even know. I can send you the Amazon link. This one mercifully doesn't have anything written on it. The first one that I got, which was 24 ounces, right? It says Danforce.
Danforce?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. And there's like a guy who's sort of running as the upright on the D.
Might be Dan.
But my name's not Dan, so it's completely inapplicable. But
That's a great nickname.
But
Danforce.
yeah, but it worked and it was good, and I liked it because of the double wall construction. Keeps the drinks cold.
Yeah.
Keeps the hot and the cold cold. I don't really drink hot things, but but for the coldness, it's great. With
And
like
you don't notice any, this is pretty new for you, but have you noticed any sweating on it? It's not sweating.
this guy's brand new. This is his maiden voyage right now here today. Typically not too much on these. You can get some if it's like really cold. Because
Like
sometimes
the bottom.
Yeah, because like sometimes you can throw it in the freezer just to get the metal cold too.
Yeah, I've done that. I like the new technology. Yeti probably, there's probably things before Yeti, but Yeti capitalized it, about 8 years ago, 10 years. Now every girl, carries their big dumb cup. Everyone has a big dumb cup. But I will say...
I thought everybody was doing the Stanley Cups.
Well, yeah, that's the big dumb cup. But...
Yeah, but that's Stanley. That's not Yeti. Are they the same?
No, I know. Yeah, but Yeti was the first in line. Stanley felt like they were kind of Johnny-come-latelys.
The Yeti thing, and I don't know anything about. I don't know anything much about it. It seems like Marshall, like amps. Like it seems like you're just paying for the name.
You are, but you will find superiority in the cooling department. Like we have an actual Yeti cooler, which I hate to be cliche and say we got a $300 fucking cooler. We have a Yeti cooler. Well, we've gone, Tailgate Tina's brought out the Yeti cooler, and that son of a bitch is not sweating, and it's keeping that stuff cold and vacuum sealed like it should. There's the reason why they put Yeti coolers in country songs, because it's a thing.
Well, there is something to a superior product that's designed better and made with better materials, so it actually functions the way that it's supposed to.
It does, except
like for example, just a real quick example.
Okay.
When I started riding a bicycle again, and I shop at Target and stuff. I love Target, and I was like, oh, I grab an inner tube tire. Those inner tubes do not stay inflated.
What, the Target version, or just their little armor?
The Target version, yeah. So, but then it's like you go to a bike store and you get a real inner tube for the tire. You have to put air in it like 2-3 times a year.
Okay, I could see that. Yeah.
But the point is, better product with better materials functioning the way it's fucking supposed to.
And sometimes there is something to be said. Now, I get where some of it's a markup because of the name. It's kind of like we always used to say with guitars. We go, I'm not paying $2,000 for an actual Les Paul. I might as well get an Epiphone. Well, I don't know. There's something in the magic I know you spent more than you should have for the Les Paul, but there's something about the construction. There's little fine-tuneries that you go, you got to buy it right the first time. Sorry.
Well, no, you know what? I do 100% agree with that, because that's what I've done with music gear for decades.
Because we used to buy the shit that we could afford. We couldn't afford the $2,000.
There's no point. And I'll tell you what, it has not steered me wrong. Like, it was a great feeling when I was pulled into that country band, when the guy in the guitar player in the country band goes, "You got a Music Man bass?" And I'm like, "Yeah, what do you want? 4-string, 5-string?" Like, when you've got like the regular like stuff, not cheap versions of stuff. It's a known quantity.
Yeah, and you know it's up to a snuff to where the real people. Yeah, it's like, do you pull in a Kia, or are you pulling in a BMW? You know, people know. You know, you can't shit nobody when you got a Kia, even though the Kia's pretty goddamn good and it's really nice. Sure, no offense, but it's no BMW.
Yeah,
but guitars and everything,
But yeah, there's no sense wasting your money on like a $300 guitar when you know you're gonna have to spend like $800 for a good guitar. It's like, save your pennies, get the $800 guitar. You'll never regret it.
Yes, and
because even if you buy the $300 guitar, you're gonna have to buy the $800 guitar anyway, and you're gonna end up spending more.
And what I would tell a young musician, I'd say, buy the 800, save longer, fine, because there will be a time you either keep that as a collector's item or you're going to flip it. And you're not going to flip that $300 guitar, but you'll flip that $800 guitar, will instantly turn into like a $1,200 guitar. That $300 guitar is going to stay a $300 guitar forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
unless it's something weird and rare.
Because I mean, I've never really liquidated gear too much.
Yeah, you held on to stuff, but I was always on the flip as far as certain things. But I worked it over. But I always believe in the brand name, like
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. Even more so these days, because you can go on Amazon and you can look up like a home theater amplifier or whatever, or a guitar amplifier, and you can find the mono price amplifier. You know what I mean? Is that going to be good? Is that going to work? Is that going to be dependable? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, if it's like some Hushiwachi brand and you go, right, it's half than the Yamaha. Should I buy the Yamaha or should I get the Hushiwachi? And you go, okay, I'll just get the Hushiwachi.
Yeah.
Well, Hushiwachi might fizzle on you or sound fine, but
to a certain degree, like you mentioned Yamaha. Like I know Yamaha makes a million products. In music world, Yamaha products are solid, reliable. The product consistency is there.
Yeah.
It's
like a Honda or Toyota. Yeah. It's gonna always be right upper middle class, right down the center, and strong.
They got it on point. It's solidly dependable. It's like touring musicians that have like Ibanez, deals that like, oh, gear got lost. They can go into any local music store, get an Ibanez, signature model. That's what Kerry King from Slayer was talking about that with Marshall when he made his signature Marshall amp, which is pretty badass. It's like $5,000. But he's like, I wanted it, so if I'm touring the world and something happens to my gear, I can go into any fucking decent music store in a major city and walk in, pick up my amp, and go right on stage with it.
Hey, that's not a bad concept, yeah.
He's like, I've been in this band for like 20 years. People know me. He's like, it's a perk, but why not?
Yeah.
If I had the money, I would totally get one. He's got like a built-in noise gate and shit like that. Yeah. And it's, full-on, balls out, distortion, that sort of...
I lost my way with guitar amps. I don't
punchiness.
really know what, especially in metal realm. I kind of stopped paying attention when dual rectifiers were a thing. It's like, all right, the dual rectifier, that you don't need anything more. And then after about 2005, then it was like, I kind of lost touch with what was going on.
You know what it went into is those Eddie Van Halen 5150 PV amps.
Ew, really? Well, okay. I mean, I know they're a thing, but I would think...
So apparently the original run of the amps from like 92 or whatever the fuck were really good because they were tube amps. And so... but I heard that the speakers in the cabinets that they shipped with were kind of shit speakers. So nobody really dug them. But if you plugged it into a different cabinet, like a Mesa Boogie cabinet or a Marshall cabinet,
now we're talking.
They ripped your face off.
Yeah.
And so that was sort of the sound of like metal through like the 2000s through the 2010s.
Yeah. I guess that's when I stopped playing metal. So therefore, that's where I ceiling it on metal at 2005, and the dual rectifier was the thing.
Oh yeah, because that was essentially like the Metallica tone.
Yeah, and like even the new metal bands were doing those, like like Limp Bizkit and them would have those, or like I don't know, Papa Roach. They would have that guitar tone, the dual rectifier.
Right, because the Mesa Boogies were from California, so like most California bands were doing Mesa Boogie stuff.
I think oranges were starting to pop their heads up, but orange amps were starting to become a thing, but they were still kind of Sabbathy. Yeah.
Well, but that was the thing. There were a lot of people that were doing that retro sound. So when you want to do that retro 70s sort of sludge rocky, Clutch sort of thing.
But that was old Marshalls anyway. Clutch ain't using orange. Those guys will be using original fucking 75 Marshalls.
Yeah, if they can, yeah.
Because they got the cash to do it. But yeah, wow. I know. Like my old guitar player, he had a Laney, which was nice. You think of those, but we were playing Americana rock. We weren't playing like metal. There was no junk about it. But for standard overdrive and stuff like that, that shit was, the Laney was nice.
Was it?
Yeah.
I never really liked their like metal tone. It seemed a little too high end. A little too.
But I was just buying boutique amps. See, I would go I have a Vox. I got different tube amps. So I was going tube and going more boutique.
Yeah, because you were doing like a edge of breakup crunch sort of tone.
Yeah, I like natural breakup more so. But like I said, if I ever had to get heavy again, boy, I think, I hate to say it, I think I would go dual rectifier. I would go dual rectifier.
Dude, there's so many like new things out there,
I know. I'm sure. I know. I would just get a power amp and a preamp and just call it a day. Get a tube Mesa 50 and crank that up for power.
You don't even need to these days. You can just get like a neural DSP or a fucking like neural DSP.
I think we're losing people. We're talking guitar amps and we're getting metaled out. Yeah, we're going down the rabbit hole because we do that.
Yeah.
See, guys, if you didn't know, Orbit Truth speaks the truth. We're old metalers. We're done it. We've been doing music. So all roads always lead back to music for us somehow. I don't know why. We could be talking about car chases. We could be talking about Yeti coolers. And we end up in guitar realm. So, is what it is. That's what we are.
Well,
we're born of rock and roll.
It's part of a lot of the stuff that I watch on like YouTube and stuff like that,
Yeah.
A lot of rock and roll-y stuff. And I've been... Did you see that David Lee Roth interview that I sent you like a couple weeks ago?
Oh, I didn't watch it, but I have it saved in my queue to watch it. I forgot all about it.
It was real interesting. It was real interesting.
I keep saying all roads lead back to Van Halen.
It's all.
Why do all roads lead back to Van Halen? God damn it!
Why, for like us and our generation?
Or us. It's like we could be talking Legos, and eventually we're going to end up in Van Halen. And we're not even huge Van Halen fans. But it's just all conversational roads. Like they always said, all roads lead to porn. Well, no, all roads lead to Van Halen.
For me, it's sort of an idealized place and time.
Yeah.
Of the idea of, being in a band like Van Halen in the late 70s, just ramming around playing these huge backyard parties where, he was saying in the interview that, like, the parties were so big and out of control, they'd go on for like 3 or 4 days, and then the homeowner would have to call the police on their own party to get the people to leave.
Yes, and there's times
that's insane.
I remember them telling a story about like a news chopper was going around the party or something like that, like above them, because the news was like wondering what was going on.
Cars parked in the streets and people couldn't get to their neighborhood.
That was the 70s, but still.
Yeah, like late 70s, like 77, like 76.
We need love a time machine, though. We need a time machine.
That must have been just a an amazing fucking time to be that point in time. Not necessarily the later stuff, like after 1980, the Hollywood Sunset Strip with the Motley Crue and the...
No, that would have been annoying.
Yeah.
It would have been fun for about a week, and then it would have been party overload.
Just for those 2 or 3 years in the late 70s,
Yeah, that would have been kind of cool, and been like maybe in high school or just been graduating high school then, Because how fun and free that the world was... The year you graduate high school till about 24. There's like 3-4 years there. That's main, like, Yeah.
Especially because they're just ramming around like Pasadena where they grew up, so they know everybody.
Oh, and California being sunny, and then everyone's high five. Yeah, it's probably.
So it's just this sort of like idealized, like, you know, like when were first getting into that sort of stuff, that sort of California sound, the Van Halen stuff, which was never really metal. It was always party rock. Mm-hmm. You know.
Yeah. I mean, it was just rock and roll with a little bit of throat.
Yeah.
And pizzazz.
Yeah. But yeah, so, you know, but there's a lot of new information coming out and stuff lately and stuff like that. Like Wolfgang's pretty cool with information, and
He's a good egg. Good egg.
David Lee Roth interview was pretty interesting.
I wonder if we'll ever meet that. You ever wonder who here's a question I always ask. Do you have any celebrity numbers in your phone? Like, who would be the first? You ever imagine having a celebrity or semi-celebrity, you know, like phone number, like you can go, hey, look who's here on my phone list. Like I was watching today, there's Richard Marx was talking to Bert Kreischer, and like he literally said, 15 minutes ago I talked to Rod Stewart, and you go, Richard Marx is talking to Rod Stewart?
Yeah, maybe Richard Marx is a songwriter.
Yeah, those guys they're all in some weird club. But man, Richard Marx is quite fascinating. You know, you go, Richard Marx, really? You think that ballad guy? No, yeah, he's like the Rob Lowe. He's telling stories like Rob Lowe stories, where you go, wow, this guy needs his own podcast. He's fascinating.
He probably does.
Yeah. He is very fascinating. And then Rick Springfield's sitting next to him, but you want to go, I want more out of Rick. You don't get it, because Rick is noodling on an acoustic guitar like a 18-year-old with ADD and just rattling off half ideas of songs, like almost like.
Oh my God, I don't want to say it, but I was going to say, like, you know what I watched the other day when Van Halen was on Howard Stern, and Eddie Van Halen just kept piddling around on the guitar, and Howard's like, Eddie, we're on the air, sit down, and Eddie's like, oh, are we?
Yeah, it's that total same thing you're seeing out of Rick, you know, which Rick is fascinating in his own right, but then you get the two work together because they're best buddies and they're touring together.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, they do an acoustic tour together and they trade songs back and forth, and do a storyteller thing, which is great. I kind of want to see it, but yeah.
You know who I heard on? Funnily enough, the Dana Carvey, Dana Spade Saturday Night Live podcast, where there's no video for it.
Oh, right, Fly on the Wall.
Yeah, Fly on the Wall. They were talking to Joe Elliott from fucking Def Leppard.
Oh, I saw that. I saw it was there. I didn't watch it. Okay, dude, is it fascinating?
Joe Elliott is the nicest fucking guy.
He is.
He's so down to earth and funny. I still love Def Leppard. I love those guys.
Wouldn't he be a great neighbor? Like, imagine like talking over the fence to
those
him.
Guys.
Like, hey, what's up?
Yeah. Like I saw a video where it was Phil Collin doing like a video talk with somebody, talking guitar and stuff. And he's sitting in his living room and he's got a guitar and he's like, oh yeah. And he's just talking about riffs and whatever they ask and showing how to play stuff. And just, those guys seem like super nice dudes.
Yeah.
Like the guys from Iron Maiden.
But they seem
like
pretty
nice
British,
guys.
so I don't know if we'd have too much in common with them, but they do seem like good eggs.
Yeah.
And they seem a little older and more mature.
Yeah.
But I think Def Leppard guys would be a little bit more, they'll split a bottle of wine with you and still goof around They still think they're 25.
I feel like the difference is, like, the Iron Maiden guys are like old school guys who like grew up with like the punk rock sensibility sort of thing. But I feel like the Def Leppard guys are almost like more our age, where they grew up with like the TV and the cable TV.
They're probably a little more sillier and prankstery.
Yeah, and they're a little more media savvy, I would say. I mean,
by far.
Granted, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Iron Maiden not media savvy.
Well, everyone knows they're not.
What are you talking about? Those guys.
Well, they don't. They're
those guys
not.
are the masters of marketing.
Well, they're team. I mean, they're not like out there like, they're not doing prank shows on True TV.
No. But the Eddie concept.
Oh,
the T-shirts, the posters, the Todd McFarlane figures.
Well, they've been a marketing machine since we were in grade school.
Yeah, I mean those guys are good at it. But with the Def Leppard guys, it just feels like Joe Elliott's as apt to talk about stand-up comedians or funny movies or like Jerry Lewis movies or like whatever the fuck. He's more hip to that, where it's like the Iron Maiden guys probably talk about like soccer or football and like probably like one other sort of thing.
Yeah,
I would imagine. I don't want to disparage. I love the guys at Iron Maiden.
Here's something I was going to ask you. Do you remember? I think we might have talked about this in our pilot episode pod, but I don't even know if it's even there. But we'll go down it real quick, and I can answer it, and you can answer it. What do you remember when you were a kid? Do you remember when music started making sense? Now, you know, our parents would buy us like, okay, you got the K-Tel record, okay.
Oh, you mean like listening to the music?
Yeah, but you went to the store and you go, I'm going to save my allowance and I'm going to go buy that cassette or I'm going to buy that 45. Do you remember your first row of cassettes you had and you were playing in your tape recorder and playing with your toys?
Yes.
And stuff?
Yeah.
What do you remember your top 5, 6? What do you got?
So cassettes came later. Originally, like,
well,
first paid
45s,
attention to music, yeah, like when I was a kid.
Yeah, but I'm talking cassettes, the ones that you really personalize, the ones where you go, this was my initial collection.
Well, so the first ones I actually went out and bought, I think I bought a few records, and then I was like, records is stupid, I'm just going to buy tapes from now on. Mm-hmm. And I remember my first 2 tapes were Are You Experienced, Jimi Hendrix, and Fair Warning, Van Halen.
Wow. those are actually winners.
Yeah.
I could listen to both of those today.
Yeah.
I remember you and I driving in your college days, driving to Edinburgh College, listening to Jimi Hendrix Are You Experienced on the cassette in the car. So let's see. Wow. Okay.
And I remember album-wise.
Fair Warning, of course, Van Halen. That's every Van Halen fan's favorite. Yeah. You know. But okay, what else?
Album-wise, I remember I definitely had the first 2 Def Leppard albums. Actually, I definitely had the first 2. On Through the Night and High and Dry. I had those on LP.
Okay.
And I know I had Motley Crue Shout at the Devil, but that was like later.
Yeah, that was kind of a later thing.
Yeah. Speak of the Devil. I had Ozzy, Speak of the Devil.
Wow, so you started early with, so your cassette run was
like
kinda,
82, 83 when I
right,
first
yeah,
got
but
into it.
you must have been, what, 12, 13 then?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
11, 12.
All right, well.
Because I got into the music, like the heavy metal stuff, like when I was probably like 11 or 12.
But
then
okay,
12
so you
is when I
found
started
metal
playing
late.
guitar.
Yeah, you found, yeah.
And then, don't forget, like 2 or 3 years into playing guitar then, I started getting into like the thrash metal, the Anthrax.
Well, that was later.
No, that was very early on.
Yeah, but you're talking 13, so you're talking, I'm talking
that was when
even
Spreading
before
the Disease
that.
came out. Spreading the Disease is what caught my ear, and that was like 83?
Sure.
Among the Living was like 85.
Yeah, because I remember when you and I met, we both were like, oh, you like Spreading the Disease? I like that too. And I think I had a t-shirt and you had like the jean jacket or something like patch.
Did you have like the Fistful of Metal t-shirt or something like that?
I had Fistful. Yeah, I actually, around that time we started hanging, it was like, I was like, oh, right, I got new friends. And I went to the mall and got Fistful of Metal cassette because I wanted to show it off.
But I'll say this about that time. When we were kids, the idea of graphic t-shirts were fucking iron-ons, or they were those stupid puffy letters that would just go like
they were iron-ons, and the shirt,
yeah, they were iron-ons.
They're thick, and your sleeves would pop out weird, and
it was the worst thing ever. I remember around that time that I got into metal and stuff. You started to see the silkscreen T-shirts, with the album covers and stuff. I remember I saw fucking and there was that place in the mall, Mountain Magic or whatever. No, not Mountain Magic. There was because that was the one.
You're talking like McCrory's or something. Weird.
Yeah. There was the one right out there on the concourse with the movie theater.
Yeah, and they'd have all the weird vinyl.
Yeah, but they had the remember the studded wristbands and fucking bandanas and they
go from Jergas to like metal shirts. You know,
and they had those back patches for the
tie dyes and
backpacks.
And yeah, it was kind of like Hot Topics before Hot Topics.
Yeah, but it was just that. It was just those bits of clothes and stuff like that. And that we used to just go and just like look at stuff like, and they were like, and even then like. Iron Maiden had like 9 or 10 or 11 different types of designs.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
it was a good one. Yeah,
they had because I remember they had
the Number of the Beast was the
whole
big
Number
one.
of the Beast
and Killers
graphics was like whoa and the Killers graphic that was great. You put that on the back of your jacket like 83. People are fucking like wanting to call the police on you. Yeah, it was fun.
But you're talking 13, so your first cassettes, you were delving right in the metal, right out of the womb, like young tyke. You were going through puberty and finding metal at the same time. Like I almost think, like, I mean, I had metal, but I didn't really realize it was metal. Like it was just shit I listened to, you know. Like I was young.
Well, I got turned on to like when I was like 9 or 10. Mm-hmm. No.
That's kind of what I'm talking.
No,
I'm talking at the 9 or 10 level.
Must have been 10 or 11. When I heard Rainbow in the Dark.
Oh, yeah, my brother played that for me.
That sort of grabbed my ear, and was like Like that hook. There was something about it. You know.
Yeah.
Like that really grabbed my ear.
I didn't have a discerning thing.
Even early MTV in '81 when I was 11.
Oh yeah.
Early on, they played a lot of old videos that were shot in the '60s. The Jimi Hendrix, the Black Sabbath.
Yeah, like a weird Clash video or something, or
Right.
a Blondie video you'd see.
And there was some early,
Huh?
there was some early Maiden ones. There was some early Def Leppard ones.
Yeah.
You know, and they played those a lot, so you got to see those a lot. And because
I didn't even think of it like it was weird. Like metal was there, but like I remember like literally like playing with Legos about 12, 10 years old, you know, and then my cassette player. And like I said, I had like Queen the Game, and I would play that on my cassette thing, and then I'd be building Legos. Oh, it's over. And then I'd pull out like Judas Priest, British Steel, and put that in, and then be like, that's pretty cool. And then I would go from that to like Steve Martin, a wild and crazy guy would go in there. And then when that was done, I'd be like, oh, here's the Cars, Candy O, you know, and it'd be like, I'd go from the Cars to Judas Priest. To Steve Martin to the Muppets, you know. I didn't know what the fuck what I was doing. I was just playing what I had.
Although with me, I mean, don't forget the first music thing that really caught my ear when I was like, I don't know, 5 or 6, or I don't know, 5, 6, 7, I don't know. My brother had the 45 for Beth from Kiss.
Oh, yeah.
The flip side was Detroit Rock City.
Sure.
And by the way, if you guys hear any noise in the background, our studio's in a rehearsal space. So,
Yeah, we're hearing a band next
so
door.
live with it. This is normal for us.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. It's all good. They probably won't hear anything on the mics. Even if they do, it'll just probably nothing. Anyway. But so the first thing that caught my ear was like Detroit Rock City when I was like 6 or 7 or something like that, right? And so that was always sort of there, turned on in the back of my mind. But then when I was like 10 or 11, my mom's a teacher, and she would teach this summer school course. And so she was gone a lot. And so during the summer, she didn't want us like alone. So my friend's mom had said that I sent my kids down here to the YMCA, has this summer program. Summer program, I forget what it was called. And so my mom's like, oh, that's a good idea. So she enrolled me and my brother in it. So 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, we're going 8 a.m. down to the fucking YMCA, and we're there all day till like 4 p.m. or 5 p.m. or something.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think we all did that at some point.
So I did it with my one friend the first year. He was there, and we had been starting to get into like rock stuff like that. And I remember like the second year, no, actually maybe we weren't. Maybe we were just dumb punk kids. But then I think the second year that we were there, and my brother was there with me, he made friends with this kid that was like a year older or something like that, named Mike Maloney. And he was into the metal stuff. I used to bring in my ghetto blaster, and he'd bring in his box of cassette tapes. That's when it started, because then I was hearing Iron Maiden, like the Judas Priest stuff, the Black Sabbath stuff, the Ozzy stuff, all the sort of classic metal stuff that was out around 81, 82, 83, you know.
I think I was just getting like, because pre-MTV there was video jukebox, so I think I was getting video jukebox stuff, and then my brother was a rocker metaler, so he was playing everything, and he had the 45s.
Your brother was into like the sort of 70s rock sort of stuff.
Yeah, so he'd turn me on to like Ted Nugent, Double Live Gonzo, and Kiss Alive 4, and Led Zeppelin 2, you know, those classic records that you go, okay, they're in the eco. You know, old Aerosmith, you know, I remember listening to those. But those were his. I couldn't really touch them. So I would have to go in his room and sit there with him while he played it.
I do remember very early on getting Led Zeppelin albums. Mm-hmm. I don't know, what did I get? I think I figured just start with the beginning. I got like Led Zeppelin 1 and 2 or something like that. Yeah. And I also remember getting the Black Sabbath Paranoid album. Paranoid, I think you had mentioned that I lent to you at some point.
Yeah, and... Yeah, but now the record club, I think, is where I got the influx of music. So we all stiffed the record club. Remember how, you know, we did now back in the day, they used to send you in the Sunday paper little stamps, which would have all the album covers on it. And you'd pick one out and you go, okay, I want the Cars. And you'd stamp it in the first box and you go, okay, I got the stamp of Asia. I'm going to put that on there. And this one's going to be Van Halen, Diver Down. I'm going to get that one. Okay, here we go. You know, and you're picking REO Speedwagon. And you pick like 8 of them, you know, and you go, well, I could get 4 free. So then you're in the 4 free and you go, huh.
Get stray cats.
Yeah, that's when you get the ones that you don't want anyone to know. You go, all right, I'll get Leo Sayers.
The ones that you can say, I didn't pay for it.
Yeah, they accidentally sent it to me. Whoops.
It was a freebie.
But yeah, they would send you, you'd pick 12 out, you pay the shipping, which would be like $12, which would be the equivalent, not even 12, it was probably like $8. We'd save our lunch, we'd send it in an envelope, and then pretty soon the records, the tapes would show up. Our parents would go, who ordered this? Cancel it immediately. And I remember having to call. I don't know if we called or we tried to call customer service or something. My mom was like, you got to cancel this immediately. Cancel it. We're not paying for this. And then I remember like we were trying to call, we were on whole call waiting or so waiting on it. Never did cancel. And then nonetheless, they would send you like the pick of the month. And if you didn't send it back in time, you had to pay for it. That's where they were starting to get you. Oh, they raped me a couple times. But
you got to pay for like Juice Newton. Like,
yeah. I'd be like, the Xanadu soundtrack? No, I don't want this. Send it
that's
back.
a good one.
I don't want the Bee Gees. So
that was the yellow.
Yeah, right. You'd send it back. There's a couple times when you didn't send it back, they would send you a bill for like $14.95, and then you go, "I'm not paying this. My parents are going to kill me." So you'd hide the bill. Then they'd send another bill.
Now, when you were doing it, it was cassettes, right? Mm-hmm. And then it moved into CDs later.
Yeah, I never did it with CDs, but it was always cassettes.
Just
Yeah,
cassettes,
Chris did. My brother did the records. He was pretty loyal with it. He paid it and did his thing, and he goes, "Mom, can I use my allowance?" So he did it right. I did it nefariously. Like I tried to play whoopsie, and my mom was on to me
all the time, and I'd be like, no.
Yeah, because in those days, you could stiff a thing, and I knew I was under 18. So my plan was, eventually they're gonna send this to they're gonna call up looking for their money, and I'm gonna play. I was thinking, I'm gonna play special ed. I was gonna go, I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh my God, yeah.
I was gonna play, I don't know, I'm in the special class. Like I was gonna do that. I had it in my head. That was gonna be the plan. When they finally call up, I'm gonna play special, and then they're gonna feel sorry for me, and I'm out. Well, they never called. And they kept sending records, Eventually, I think my grandmother paid them off. I think my grandmother intervened.
Oh, yeah, I think I remember that.
Yeah, Grandma came on in and said, "You owe $36, I'm just going to pay it." Yeah.
Was it only 36 or was it like 136?
No way. Well, but 36 in 1985 was like 300 now.
Oh, my God, yeah.
36 to a kid who's 15, $36 is a lot of money.
I remember when I was like 16, which was like 88, I remember noticing that a gallon of gas and a gallon of milk were the same price.
Huh?
$1.29.
Wow. I never paid attention to gas prices when I was a kid, or milk.
You weren't driving.
No, that, and I wasn't buying milk either. I was just
I was working full time for $3 an hour,
I could just tell by the price going up of, like, I hate to say it, cigarettes and things in vending machines.
Yeah.
When vending machines were like, all right, it's a quarter, and then video games were a quarter, and then all of a sudden they're 50 cents, and then pretty soon all the games around here are $1 now. Huh.
Yeah, it's so not even worth it.
Yeah, it's like, well, all right, what are we doing here?
So much stuff is like that these days. Like soda pop.
Right.
Like I know it's not good for you and all that sort of stuff, but man, I love good cola. But like it has gotten to be where it is like $9 or $10 for a 12-pack of like Coke.
Yeah, like a buck a can.
It's nuts.
I don't know what. Yeah, I know.
So it's like no, it's not doing
it. I'm saying. That's why you gotta have a Yeti. You need a black Yeti or a black big dumb cup, like Mike has.
I got a couple.
Of truth, he's got a big dumb cup.
So here's my thing. My first one was 24 ounces. My thinking was, that's like two. That's like two of these.
2 beers.
And so most of the time, 90% of the time, I just put water in it. Water and ice cubes. But the problem was, I'd put so many ice cubes that takes away from the space for liquid.
Right. So you need 24-ounce liquid space, but then you need an extra reservoir for ice.
Right.
They need an ice reservoir.
Hence the 32.
The 32. See, I was about to say, they ought to invent a 24-ounce mug with an extra space for ice.
Yeah, and listen, before people start writing in and going, you get a bigger one. I'm not getting a bigger one.
That's why they call them big dumb cups, because people are dumb and they'll keep buying dumb cups.
Giant truck driver one. My friend Josh out in Arizona, he had one of those. He loved his big giant dumb fucking.
Yeah, they're like.
plastic.
And it's funny how they make them to where they're like big jugs, but then they're skinny, so they'll fit in your hole in your dashboard.
Yeah. This isn't fitting in the cup holder.
Big gulps.
This thing's giant. Oh, and the other thing about these, always get them with the wide mouth.
Why?
So you can stick the ice cubes in.
Oh, to get the ice in there. I see. So you don't have to one by one it in there.
Like, I've had them with a small mouth. I mean, so I've had ice cube trays where one tray is like regular size ice cubes and the other one are like XL size ice cubes. And man, those XL ones, like, you gotta like hit them to get them to go
Yeah,
in.
my ice maker will make those I call them half moons.
Oh yeah, those ones slide boop, right in.
Well, when you got a block of 4, no.
A block of 4.
Because they come out in 4s.
You gotta break that up.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's when I take the spatula. I'm Yukon Cornelius in there.
Oh my god. Oh, with the spatula, yeah.
Yeah.
I was just like smack them on something, like the counter.
No, my ice machine gets too cold, so I'm in there.
Oh, really?
Chiseling away, yeah,
Oh,
or else
don't-
it'll become a big block.
No, don't do that. Just shut it off, pull it out, put it in the sink, hit it with hot water, rinse it out. Dry it off, stick it back in. Yeah, fuck
Well,
that.
it's not that big of a deal anymore because I don't drink anymore, but back when I was drinking the vodka, I was going through a lot of ice, so it was
The
constant.
problem is, when you hit it, you slip off, you're gonna damage shit.
Not really. I mean, I just took a butter knife or a spatula.
Here's what I did for, like, when I'm drinking it, because you always need more ice when you're gonna be doing some drinking. I take a plastic bowl. Like, my girlfriend has a set of nested plastic bowls, like mixing,
Sure.
shit, bacon. Plastic bowl, because if you use anything else, and then you can put the ice cubes in that. So you dump the ice cube trays into that plastic bowl. Because if you use a metal bowl or like a glass bowl, they'll freeze together. But the
Yeah.
plastic bowl, they don't.
I was thinking, I was almost for a second there, I was imagining like those little bowls, those ice things you get when you're at a hotel and you go get
the
me
ice
some ice.
bucket.
And I go get me some ice.
Yeah.
I need an ice bucket.
Well, but if you keep it in the freezer, but yeah, essentially just a little open ice bucket you keep in the freezer. But you just take what's in the tray, put it in a little bucket, and then you get another tray going. Mm-hmm. That way you're really only working out of the bucket, and if you keep the trays going, then you're always staying up on the ice, because man, you can get behind on ice real quick.
Ice, baby.
Ice, baby. I'm a big fan of cold drinks.
Well, you heard it here, folks. How are we doing on time? Let's get out of here. It's getting hot. That band is sounding loud.
Yeah, the bass player showed up. Subtitle
Can you
this
hear the bass?
episode, Increased Ambient Noise Level.
Okay, supplemental note is that? All right, Orb of Truth, we love you. Hang in there. It's a Shlicketty-Doo cast. We'll check you next time, kids.
Galaxy